G'day guys, Justin here from the Short Straw. Happy Australia Day everyone. It's the 26th of January 2025 and we're here at Band Rotunda in Port Melbourne celebrating Australia Day, this beautiful country. And they'll never ban a day. We're going to celebrate it either way. We don't need permission to celebrate Australia Day.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to sunny Port Melbourne. And it is sunny and having the skies cleared beautifully for us today. This morning it was a bit grey and a little bit drizzly, but look at this, someone definitely is smiling down upon us today, so we thank them for that. Might be God. Never know. Definitely a great day. We've got the cruise ship over there, we've got our palm trees, and we've got our iconic Band Rotunda behind us. And we've got all you lovely people. Let me hear you. For those of you who are wondering who I am and what I'm doing here, my name is Greg Cheeseman. I am your MC for this afternoon, both here and down at Catani Gardens. So we'll be walking down there eventually. The way the day is going to roll is we'll have a few proceedings here. A couple of, directions on what we're going to do. We'll have the great man Dusty Starr, who I'll introduce officially shortly. He will be singing a few songs to keep us all excited and in the mood. And then we'll be about 1:30, we'll be heading off. We'll call for the banner holders to assemble over here. We'll line up behind them with our beautiful flags, and aren't those flags beautiful? Give your flag a wave if you've got it there. There we go, that's what we want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the great man himself, Dusty Starr.
We are one, but we are many, and from all these lands on earth we come. We'll share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he sat, waited till his belly boiled. You come and waltzing Matilda with me, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. You come and waltzing Matilda with me, and he sang as he watched, waited for his belly boiled. You come and waltzing Matilda with me. Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with gold and soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page and every state, advanced Australia fair. In joyful strains and let us sing, advanced Australia fair. Beneath our radiance of the cross, we're told with hearts and hands to make this continent well for us, renowned on all the lands. For those who come across the seas, with boundless things to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
How good are you guys? How good are these guys? Give them a round of applause. Let's do that chant again. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Make sure you've got your flags nice and high. Slow it down, those guys at the back, we'll just drag it out a little bit so you've got more flags showing. 9. If our leaders can take it a little slower in the front. My name is Greg Cheeseman and I'm your MC for this afternoon. So welcome and hello to everybody out there. So lovely to have you all here. It's a very special day, Australia Day, and we'll be hearing from a number of people today to impart their view of why Australia Day is important to them. You'll identify with some of it. You might learn a few things as well. Make yourself comfortable because we've got a great afternoon coming. Please put your hands together for DJ Jody. Here we go.
How are you all going, guys? Are we excited about this? We're celebrating, we're being proud Aussies. Yeah, that's the way. Okay, so this is the original version.
Okay.
Woo. Young and
free, with golden soils and wealth the toils. Our home is girt by sea.
Our land abounds in
nature's gifts
of beauty, rich and rare. In history's maze, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful straits and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Now, these events don't just happen by themselves. It's not just a bit of magic and here we are, we all turn up. There's a lot of hard work that goes into bringing these sorts of events. So, to tell you their story as to why we are here, could we please welcome the Committee of Celebrate Australia, Daniela, Jason and Luke. Come on up, please.
Hello, you amazing Australians. Who loves Australia? Yay! Well, I love Australia and I've been quite concerned about the attack on our national pride. In fact, last year, my son and his friends went into the city to celebrate Australia Day. They were threatened with violence if they did not put their flags away and leave. As a mother and an Australian, this made me feel incredibly disturbed. And then on top of that, the Victorian Labor government cancelled our parade indefinitely. So I thought, I cannot do nothing about this. I have to stand up and make a difference. So gathered a group of volunteers together. Thank you. and we formed Celebrate Australia. Our mission is to unite people from whatever background and whatever religion, anyone who loves this country and values the freedoms and prosperity that we all enjoy. I just wanted to give them opportunity to celebrate publicly together. So, you guys are amazing. Thank you for coming out today and making a public display of saying that we love Australia.
Thank you, Daniela. I'm JB or Jason, JB, whatever. I'm Daniela's partner. I actually I'm a police officer. I've been serving for 35 years. I've also served overseas in Timor-Leste in about 5 different states. But better than that, my great-granduncles, they all served for us in the Second World War and First World War. We all know what happened in Gallipoli. We were used as cannon fodder by the British. And also in Singapore, in the Second World War, we were actually used as a surrender tool. And my great uncle actually went to Sandakan and marched twice, forced pack march twice, and then was beheaded on the second last day of the war by the Japanese. And the reason why I tell this story is because the Australian government in 1948 gave us the Australian Citizenship Act. It made us Aussies. I think that's stopped. Still working? Sorry. So this act made us Aussies, and on the 26th of January 1949, that act was enacted. So we became Aussies on the 26th of January 1949. That's the reason why we have Australia Day. And it's the protection of our soldiers that they're only governed and only ruled by Australian generals. That's it, nothing else. So that Australia Day to me is really important, and it's something that, like when they talk about changing the date, I am completely against that, completely. And I hope you guys are too. And thank you. I'd like to thank every one of you for coming. I really appreciate it, and I'm hoping next year we can make this even better. Thank you.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Australia Day. First, before I get going, I know Danielle's going to do the thank yous later, but first I just want to say, give it a hand for Greg, who's our host, master of ceremonies. And also my great friends and colleagues here, Jay and Daniela, who have done just a fantastic job in organising this and us three organising this parade called Rally. Look, initially, we wanted to go ahead with just a parade, and that was the plan, and obviously through some sort of restrictions we weren't able to do that, so we've had to go with a rally now. So look, we didn't want this rally to be political, but unfortunately it is, and we're just sick of the government downplaying our National Day, and I hope you're all going to be on board, because I've got a message for them, and next year the government's going to have a little problem, because next year, if the government doesn't install this parade, we'll be doing it again, but it's not going to be here in St Kilda, it's going to be in the city. So look, I hope you can all attend that, bring more numbers next year, and we're going to make a grand statement, because this parade is not going to disappear. We're here to stay. Thanks for coming, and thank you everybody. Have a great Australia Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our committee of Celebrate Australia. Alrighty, moving on with proceedings. Our next guest. This is a big claim here. Our next guest has been married for 43 years. That on its own deserves a round of applause, please. If we could. But wait, there's more. He's a spiritual leader, a coach and mentor to many others, and with 5 children, one of whom's a Victorian Member of Parliament, don't hold it against him, he's probably more like a saint than anything else. He aims to build strong churches, and to teach, train and impart his knowledge and prepare the church for the last day's harvest. Here to impart a view of Australia Day from his perspective, please welcome Pastor Brian Heath.
Thanks heaps, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. Great to see you. Firstly, it's an honour to be here, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate our National Day together. Like most of you, I'm a very proud Aussie. I'm thankful to be an Australian, and in my case, I was born here in central Victoria, the fifth son of a hard-working farmer. Greatest respect to other people who don't share my faith persuasion. I had my photo taken with Rabbi Shimon, and we just said we are definitely on the same team. Yes. And that's how I regard it. I'm thankful. I want to start my little speech. Yeah, let's give the Jewish people an applause. They are such an important part of our nation. We know we come from the same roots. Today I want to honour the Aboriginal people. I want to give thanks to them. Some of my very, very best friends are Indigenous and they are like family to me. And that is very sincere and from the bottom of the heart. There are those that have come and established the foundations of the nation since, and foundations that future generations have been able to build upon. For Australia and all of us, it has not been a perfect history. But what's the point of looking back? By the way, I was married 46 years, not 43. And during that time you had some bumps go along the way, but do you know what you've got to give? You've got to forgive. You've got to genuinely reconcile and move forward together to a better future. Let me tell you, this nation's been built on the Judeo-Christian foundations. It's known as the luck. We've experienced great peace and prosperity since World War II. As we speak, we are gathered in a most beautiful part of the world that has been named the world's most livable city, an extraordinary 7 years in a row. We are a blessed and fortunate country. And it didn't happen by accident. As a pastor, I'd have to say that the journey of faith in our nation is a very important one. And that has contributed to the building of the foundation of the nation more than we know. I'm not going to take any longer, but I wanted to just say this before I finish. Thank you, sir. Is that one of the early navigators that sighted what we call the Great South Land was a man by the name of Fernandez Pedro de Couros. And on Pentecost Sunday, 1606, he stood somewhere up in the area of Vanuatu, and he called these lands the Great South Land of the Holy Spirit. It's a pretty cool thing, and it gives me, as a Christian believer, a sense of identity. I want you to know this, regardless of what background we come from. God's got a great destiny for our nation. And it's up to us to make sure that that comes to pass. And we need to do that by being people that love our country and stand up for what's right. I don't want to take any more time, but I want to say God bless you. And the last thing I want to say, there's a little verse, and it's in Jeremiah chapter 29, and it's God's heart to us. And he says, the plans that I have to you are good, and you have a future and a hope. I believe our nation has got a great future and a great hope, but we need to come together and see this job get done. God bless you.
Pastor Brian Heath, ladies and gentlemen. As part of planning events like this, you need the cooperation of the authorities, and we've had great cooperation from the Victoria Police. So just a quick shout out to these guys over here. They're here for our protection here, all of you, just in case we get some rat bags. They're here to sort that out, but thankfully so far so good. You're doing a great job, guys. Keep up the good work. They might look like they're having a chat amongst themselves, but they're really watching. Okay. Our next guest is the son of a former Governor-General of Australia, has a background in secular and religious studies, has been a senior research fellow at Monash University and program director of a postgraduate rabbinic institute. There you go, there's a new word for all of us. Okay, giving us a view of Australia Day from an Australian Jewish perspective, please welcome Rabbi Shimon Cowan.
Thank you very much for inviting me. As you mentioned, my father was a Governor-General of Australia, and for him the country was one. He sought to represent it, and he did everything he could to strengthen its unity and its identity. Now, the fact that the Australia Day has become an issue of debate and that it needs reaffirmation is symptomatic of the general dissolution of identity which we've seen in so many facets of contemporary society. In the following few words, I want to try to explain what the significance of Australia Day is for me and why its spirit is something which needs to be maintained. This is a society which, like many other societies, is composed of people who come from a great array of origins. It is irrelevant to the point at hand why they came and in what order they came to the land. What we find with the nations of the earth is that notwithstanding the vagaries of history, the histories that they have, each has its own specific character. The national character is something which exists notwithstanding the flux of history, of governments, political movements, which may each have their own time of particular dominance. Great books have been written about this enduring feature of character, national character. Just to name two of them. One is the book written by Alexis de Tocqueville, who in the 1835 and 1840 wrote a book, put out a book called Democracy in America. And he pinpointed what have proven to be the enduring features of the American character. To my knowledge, the classic work on Australian national character is the book Australia, published in 1930 by the notable historian Keith Hancock. Now, national character is about the personality of a country. Personality is something which tells us about the style and temperament of a country in its land. It can have good features and it can have good expressions, and it persists through all of these different vicissitudes. The point, however, is that just as we look for the strengths and the best application of an individual person's personality, so should it be with the personality, the character of a nation. Amongst the great qualities of the Australian personality is the mateship ethos. Every person, however much he or she may be unknown or strange to us, is given respect. There is an inbuilt restraint and decency in Australian character, which causes us to give another the benefit of the doubt. There is a patience with others. Australian drivers don't honk to the extent that other societies do when the traffic is held up. They're ready to help and greet a stranger. There is the famous concept of a fair go. Give each one his or her own opportunity to say what they want to say, to express, and to try to fulfill what they want to do. Even though we find everywhere now in government service offices and facilities used by public requests for courtesy and statements of zero tolerance for aggression, this is, I would think, a global phenomenon caused by the stresses, technologies, and anonymity of the world today. Underneath this overlay, the Australian character still has time for another bloke and a unique friendliness and decency towards others. No politics, ideologies could ever attack this, our national character, for it is the personality. And if we look at it properly, we should view this national personality and character in its best light. that ultimately unifies us. In 2024, almost 500,000 new migrants from all over the world came to Australia, practically a 2% increase in our national population. My wife and I recently took a holiday in a country town. Virtually all of the many-day visitors and picnickers were new migrants. How, I asked myself, will they become integrated into the fabric of our society if they and their children don't become educated into and assimilate Australian national character? The answer lies, at least partially, in Australia Day, the day which is about the best in Australian character, in which we should all rejoice. Thank you and congratulations.